Hi, I'm Vivian Jones. Everyone calls me Vivi because I like it more. Today, I want to tell you my crazy story. But first, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let me introduce you to the Jones family. See the man in the armchair? That's my dad. He's a real fan of American football and doesn't miss a single match. Go! Come on! Yes, we won! Those two clowns are my brothers, Rob and Bob. They're twins, and to be honest, sometimes I couldn't tell them apart. Those two had way too much energy. They couldn't sit still for the life of them and kept breaking stuff. For example, one day, they decided to swing on the chandelier and tore it down. Boys will be boys. And that sweet old lady is our granny. She's usually alright, but if she forgets to take her medication, she gets weird. Don't be surprised if she starts playing chess with a cactus. Checkmate, Mr. Thorne! We barely made ends meet. Despite that, we were happy and got along great. Well, except for Mom. She was always working. Her favorite hobby was scolding us. Why hasn't anyone cooked dinner? Or taken Grandma out for a walk? Vivi! Yes, Mom? I asked you to do the cleaning. Why is it still so dirty here? Oh, not that again. I'll clean up now. I swept the trash under the carpet and plopped down on the sofa, pleased with myself. You're all going to drive me crazy! See, Mom hardly needed a reason to get mad at us. It all began when I started visiting abandoned buildings with my classmates and boyfriend Steven. It was our hobby. We found empty houses, visited them, and took funny pictures. I was a real pro at it and knew every abandoned building in the city like the back of my hand. Obviously, I hid it from my parents. My dad was alright and wouldn't have minded, but Mom would have lost it for sure. One day, I was hanging out with my friends when a gorgeous car drove past us. Everyone stared at it with admiration. But I noticed something suspicious and froze in place. Vivi, what's wrong? I could have sworn my mom was behind the wheel. Come on, how could she afford it? Yeah, you're right. It makes no sense. However, things kept getting weirder. When I came home that evening, I saw a bracelet from the most expensive nightclub in the city on my mother's hand. She saw me look at it and immediately hid the bracelet. She was definitely hiding something. I love detective stories. So, I decided to get to the bottom of it. The next morning, I pretended I was going to school and hid in the bushes until my mom left the house. Then, I sneakily followed her. Mom walked a couple of blocks and then got into that gorgeous car and happily drove away. Wow, I had been right! Mom couldn't afford such a car, could she? To find out the truth, I went to her place of work. However, when I came there, I was told my mom was on vacation and hadn't been in the office for a week. Gee, I kept getting more questions instead of answers. Later, I told Steven about my little investigation. He was intrigued and promised to help me solve the mystery. We'll figure out what your mom is hiding together. That evening, I decided to play detective and casually asked my mom a couple of questions. Mom, how are things at work? Things are fine. I'm just very tired. Yeah? You don't look it. You look like you've been at the spa all day. Vivi, what on earth? Isn't it stuffy in the subway in the mornings? Yes, it is. Are you interrogating me? Enough of this. That liar! I knew Mom wasn't working and could see how nervous she was. However, I decided to collect as much evidence as possible before confronting her. The next morning, I got on my bike and followed her instead of going to school. To my surprise, she parked by a luxurious mansion and headed inside. What the hell was going on? I climbed up a tree and took out a pair of binoculars from my detective kit. I'll find out what you're hiding, Mommy. You won't believe what I saw. Behind the gates of the mansion, Mom was relaxing on a chase lounge by the pool. She was served cocktails and given a massage like she was a queen. This is the life. I almost fell off the tree when I saw that. What was going on? Then, my phone suddenly vibrated. Steven sent me a video and told me to watch it as soon as I could. The video showed a woman in a medical mask getting a lottery prize. A check for $250,000! Wow! Then, I noticed a heart-shaped mole above that lucky woman's eyebrow. Hey, my mom had a mole like that. I finally realized what had happened. Mom must have hit the jackpot and was now enjoying life to the fullest. Did she have no shame? I climbed down from the tree and tried to get into the mansion. However, a thug didn't let me through. This is private property. Get out of here. Who are you? I'm Mrs. Jones' security guard, and I'm Mrs. Jones' daughter. Let me through. He seemed lost when he heard that. While his tiny brain was processing the new information, I quickly slipped past him and found my mother. Well, well, well. How do you like the life of a secret millionaire, Mom? Vivian, today I'm your conscience. How could you, Mom? You won the lottery and enjoyed luxury while your family lived in poverty. Mom was afraid I would tell Dad and my brothers everything, so she tried to pay for my silence. I'll buy you anything you want, but keep your mouth shut, please. That just made me madder. Who did Mom think I was? I told her I would tell our family everything, ran out and rode away on my bike. As I pedaled, I thought about my mom's lies. It turned out she was a selfish liar. I was bursting with anger and resentment. I was so lost in my thoughts, I didn't notice a parked car in front of me and crashed into it. The world went dark. I fell to the ground and blacked out. I came to in a very strange place. It looked like some sort of well or basement. Where am I? Hello? Can anyone hear me? However, an echo was my only answer. I wanted to call Steven and ask for help, but couldn't find my phone. I tried to focus and think. What could have happened to me? That's when I realized my mom had probably arranged my kidnapping so that I wouldn't rat her out. Damn it! I regretted finding out about my mom's secret. How was I supposed to go back home? I had to get out of there. Then I saw a small window and looked outside. Bingo! I think I know where I am. I was in one of the abandoned buildings Steven and I had visited. I remembered that its walls were flimsy, so I easily made a hole and got out through it. Yes! Freedom! I ran home and tried to tell Dad what had happened before Mom came back. But he was so engrossed in a football match that he didn't notice anything except the TV. Dad, are you even listening to me? Who passes like that? Where's the judge looking? Talking to him was useless, so I went to my grandma instead. However, I was in for another disappointment. Grandma, can you imagine? Mom won a lottery and then hid me in the basement. Shh, sweetie. Now is a bad time. I'm playing peekaboo with a banana. This damn fruit won't beat me again. She must have forgotten to take her medicine again. Then I came to my brothers, but they didn't hear me out either. Bob and Rob were having fun throwing ice cream scoops at each other. Watch out! I ducked, and the scoop flew over my head and broke Mom's vase. I felt like I was in a madhouse. It was obvious my family was going to be of no help, so I took the phone of one of my brothers, called Steven, and told him everything. I could report my mom to the police, but I want to deal with her myself. Vivi, this is why I love you, my adventurer. I'll be there soon. Thank you. At least I could rely on my boyfriend. About 15 minutes later, he picked me up on a scooter. I gave him the address, and we drove to Mom's mansion. When we got there, we saw my mom handing over a heavy bag to that huge guard. I got off the scooter and stormed up to her. Have you no shame? How could you do this to me? For some reason, she beamed and hugged me, letting go of the bag. Oh, Vivi, I'm so glad you're okay. While Mom was squeezing me like a plush toy, the guard grabbed the bag and started to run away. What's going on? That bastard! There's no time to explain, sweetie. We need to follow him. I got into her fancy car and did just that. Steven followed us on his scooter. The security guard was fast and agile, but we didn't fall behind. Wow, it was so much fun! I didn't know you were such a daredevil, Mom. Then I asked her why she had hidden me in that abandoned building. Mom hit the gas and said she would never do that. It was the security guard. He found out I won a lottery and decided to steal the money. However, that was hard to do since I kept it all in my bank account. We turned to follow the criminal into an alley and Mom continued. But then you showed up and told that scum you were my daughter. That's when he came up with the plan. That made sense. The guard must have followed me and deliberately parked his car so that I would crash into it. After that, he must have hidden me in the basement and demanded a ransom from my mother. How dare he? He didn't know who he was messing with yet. Were you really ready to give up all your winnings for me? Of course, sweetheart. After all, I'm your mother. There's nothing more precious to me than my children. Oh, that was so sweet. No, I wasn't crying. I just got something in my eye. We almost caught up to the guard, but the race took an unexpected turn. I heard sirens and looked in the rearview mirror. Mom, you went over the speed limit! We're being followed by cops! But that wasn't all. A police helicopter was flying above us as well. Steven had fallen behind, but texted me that our chase was being shown live on the news. I had no words. It was like my mom and I were playing GTA in real life and got a 5-star wanted level. The police didn't know that we weren't the ones to blame. The cops cut off Mom's car, and we had no choice but to stop. That's quite a mess you're in, ladies. We tried to explain everything, but the cops didn't listen to us and brought us to the police station for an interrogation. In the meantime, the thief disappeared with our money. That was so unfair. Speaking of money, while Mom and I were sitting in the cell, I asked her why she hid her winnings from our family. Of course, what I did was wrong, but to be honest, Vivi, I'm just tired of everything. Then, she sadly told me that Dad had not been able to get a job for several years. All he did was sit in front of the TV all day while my mom was working to provide for all of us, and she was tired of it. What's more, she also had to take care of Grandma since no one else did it. The twins drove Mom crazy by wreaking havoc in the house all the time. It turned out she was constantly saving up to buy us delicious food and clothes and hadn't gotten anything for herself in ages. It was nuts. We all thought that Mom was always grumpy for no reason and didn't notice how much she did for our family. I just wanted to take a break. When I won the lottery, I decided to live for myself for once in my life. I took her hand and said I didn't blame her. I'm sorry, it's my fault too. After all, I didn't help you at all and only thought about having fun. While we were having that heart-to-heart, the police found out that we weren't guilty. Soon, they let us go. Unfortunately, the security guard disappeared with my mom's money, and they couldn't find him. When we left the station, reporters immediately surrounded my mom. A lottery winner chasing someone caused a stir, and they wanted to interview her. However, Mom didn't want to get involved in a scandal, so she covered her face and dragged me home. Nothing changed there. Everyone had been doing their own thing all day, and now they demanded Mom wash their clothes and cook dinner for them. Mom sighed heavily and went to the kitchen, and I glared at my family. Then, the football match ended and Dad switched the TV to another channel. Everyone saw the chase and found out that Mom had become rich. They blamed her for keeping the money secret and losing it. I finally ran out of patience. How can you all be so selfish? Dad, get off the couch and get a job already. And you two little pranksters, quit destroying the house. Take care of Grandma since you have so much energy. Do you even know how much Mom does for us? I told all of them what I thought of them. However, none of them felt guilty. It was a disaster. Dad started yelling at the twins started fighting, and Grandma was, scolding the flower pot. They shouted at each other for a while, and then went to their rooms. My mother and I exchanged sad glances. Thank you for standing up for me, sweetie, but I don't think it will save our family. I went to bed in a terrible mood. Mom was right. Our family would fall apart without mutual support and respect. The next morning, I was woken up by a delicious smell. I went downstairs and couldn't believe my eyes. Dad was dancing and making breakfast. The whole house was sparkling clean. My brothers were playing bingo with our grandmother. Am I dreaming? At that moment, Mom came out of the bedroom and froze in surprise. Dad gently took her hand and sat her down at the set table. The Jones family sat down to have breakfast. Darling, we've been thinking about our behavior all night and realized we should help you. After all, you are the heart of our family. Yes, Mom, we're gonna treat you like a queen from now on. I was over the moon when I saw Mom smile. It made me believe things would get better. A little later, Stephen came to pick me up. On the way to school, I told him everything that happened after the chase. It's a shame the thief hasn't been found. What matters is my family has learned an important lesson. Thank you for being there for me, Stephen. Let's go on a date tonight. Sorry, I'm helping my mother with the cleaning today. How about this weekend? Of course, my adventurer. Guys, do you have a good relationship with your family? Tell me in the comments down below, and don't forget to press like.